Hello, welcome to Statecraft IAS and Social Perspectives Sociology in Newspaper series. In this series, we shall discuss daily news articles in sociological perspective and revise relevant sociology related UPSC mains concepts with the help of a newspaper on daily basis. In today's video, we have an article talking about private sector which is lagging in vaccination drive according to Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal. In this article, it is said Center had committed to free vaccine for everyone. The minister is reportedly accusing industry group. He said the minister said business groups had made lofty promises about going to the hinterland and administering crores of jabs, but had failed to deliver. He says, "You demanded, and I remember how much you all fought with me and sought that vaccination be opened up for the private sector. Today, you are not even buying those 25% of vaccines allotted to you." Here we can see minister saying, "I remember one industry group said, I will do 1 crore vaccinations. And another said, we will go to remote areas and do it. Nobody has gone to Bihar, Northeast, Jharkhand, and Chhattisgarh to run campaigns to remove vaccine hesitancy and use up the 25% quota. Why would they do? Why do capitalists do that? They don't do, according to Karl Marx in our social perspective. In Karl Marx capitalism, capitalism aims to make profits by the exploitation of working class. This Karl Marx says under the concept of economic determinism. Now, according to Karl Marx, it is the difference of price of a product in the product market, which is manufactured with the labor of the workers, and the price of worker in the labor market, that is salaries and wages, which gives profits for capitalists. That's why capitalists always try to maximize this products or costs of the product in the product market and minimize the price of the worker in the labor market. By doing so, capitalists can gain more profits. Hence, workers are being exploited in the capitalist run for profits for sure. Therefore, Karl Marx says capitalists desire for profits above everything else. That's why they always try to maximize the product in the product market. And why do they give out vaccines when the price of the vaccines is fixed by the government? They don't have much scope to make profits out of the scheme. Hence, they are not so interested in vaccination. In Karl Marx perspective, if we analyze this particular article, but there is other side of the coin also, because criticisms or critics like Jayaprakash Narayan says that there is also a place for philanthropy, love and compassion in the society. Examples can be corporate social responsibility. The other day we have seen Margam Foundation in Vijayawada distributing cooked food meals to those who are suffering from COVID-19 and are under home quarantine. The other Guru Gobind Singh Foundation, we have seen supplying oxygen cylinders to COVID-19 patients. We have seen ISKCON supplying food to migrant laborers on the streets. All these activities are out of philanthropy or love or compassion to the society. There is no economic benefits or economic desire in these social transactions, as Karl Marx has believed. Hence, Karl Marx cannot be said to be always right, but in this particular case, Karl Marx is highly relevant because capitalist or private class is hesitating to come forward and give out those vaccines to the people, because capitalists always work for profits, and especially in these crisis times where all the capitalists were hit by the profits and their profits have shrinked. Now they try to maximize their profits to the extent possible, and they try to minimize losses like the one in the vaccination drive, because they do not get much in the vaccination drive. That's why capitalists might not have come forward in the vaccination program. Now, moving on to the next article, in the Andhra Pradesh edition, there is an article talking about Maoist movement, and it raises an important question whether it is in critical phase. Now, the article goes into the contents like most of the states such as Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Maharashtra, and Chhattisgarh had developed their own elite anti-Naxal strike forces such as the Greyhounds, the Special Operations Group, and the C-60, which had penetrated deep into the strongholds, killing top leaders. This has resulted in the breakdown of Maoist movement according to the author or report. Now we can term this as Maoist or Maoism or Naxalism in the society can be termed as social change. According to Talcott Parsons' perspective, Talcott Parsons says that when there is a change in the direction of flow of information, control, and energy, there exists social change in the society. Now, and definitely in the Maoist movement also, if we analyze, there is a change in the direction of flow of energy from organismic system to cultural system, because energy to fight against the government has been developed as a cultural aspect in the Maoist stronghold areas. Also, cultural values like cooperation, toleration, transparency, love, compassion, etc. All these cultural values have been degenerated into organismic system. They have lost their cultural significance, especially when the Maoists are uh, at their best. That's why, in that position or in that context, we can say that there is a change in the direction of flow of energy and information control according to Talcott Parsons, and that Talcott Parsons terms as social change. Now, to restore that social change, Talcott Parsons says that there are two ways. One is social control, and the other one is socialization. Now, this process, that is elite anti-Naxal strike forces such as Greyhounds, Special Operations Group, and the C-60, these measures can be termed as social control measures because there is enforcement of law and strong police action in this case. Moving on, another aspect that has been troubling the outfit since the mid 1990s is the drying up of recruitments from the urban areas, especially educated youth. Now, this particular sentence or statement we can link to education and social change chapter in paper 1. In that we have seen significance of education. Education drives social change, education accelerates social change, it welcomes social change, it promotes liberal ideas and rational investigation, etc. That's why there is less scope for educated youth to get attracted into such movements. Post globalization and the opening up of opportunities, the Maoist ideology has no takers, particularly among the students in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Because of the changed scenarios, the pull factor of the Maoism has been weakened. That's why there are no takers for this ideology. The documents reveal that recruitments have almost come to a knot, leaving the tribal people as their only mass base. Lack of issues has also impacted the movement. The Maoists are still holding on to the land reforms and the class enemy concept. Landlords holding on to the farmers' land is a rapidly dwindling issue, and this has almost phased out the class enemy concept. In a 7,000-word document, the Central Committee had tasked the state committees and the special zonal committees to find new issues, but they were hard to find. That means precisely there are no issues for Maoists to fight against the government. That's why they are suffering for takers, are suffering for supporters. This particular concept, that means class enemy concept, can be linked to Karl Marx class struggle in again in our sociology syllabus. Karl Marx says there are two classes in the society. One is have class and the other one is have not class. And the have class always exploits the have not class by owning the means of production. Now this have not class will have to turn against or rebel against the have class for bargaining better or to dethrone the or overthrow the oppressor. That overthrowing or turning against the have class will happen only if this have not class turns from class in itself to class for itself. That means in class in itself there will be greater solidarity, lesser solidarity among the members of the class, because there is no recognition among the members of the class that the other individual is also undergoing the same kind of situation. Whereas in class for itself, there is a greater solidarity because there is common consciousness among the members. Now, if we analyze this particular article in further sociological perspectives, we can link it to revolution concept in our social movements chapter, in our social movements unit. we have a chapter called Politics and Society. Under that, there are various social movements, various kinds of social movements, among which revolution is one such kind. Now, revolution is that whereas where it aspires for fundamental change in political power or organizational structures in short period of time when population rises up in revolt against the authorities. That means revolution seeks for radical change. Now, this kind of particular Naxalism can also be revolution. Now, under theories of revolution, we have Karl Marx saying there are contradictions sourced from economic changes or changes in the forces of production. That means when there are such contradictions, revolution happens according to Karl Marx. That's why we have seen there are no takers for Naxalism here, because in the post-globalized society, there are no contradictions. Absolutely, we cannot say that absolutely there are no contradictions, but largely there are lesser contradictions sourcing from economic changes or changes in the forces of production. That's why Naxalism has less takers now in the Karl Marx perspective. Whereas James Davis says that when there is improvement in the living conditions of the people, their aspirations also rise. In the context of those rising aspirations, when the actual improvement or actual improvement of actual conditions slows down, these individuals may get frustrated against the society, and they may take up arms and revolt against the government to meet those aspirations, according to James Davis. Now, here also, living conditions are improved definitely. Uh, as a result of that, rising aspirations have also been improved, but there is no actual slowing down of the actual improvement. That's why there are no takers here. We can see, especially among educated youth, there are no takers. Definitely, unemployment is rampant in society, but it is less understood because self-employment and gig economy, all these kind of things are the order of the day today. That's why people are not so desperate about employment or government employment only, and they are looking another means for employment. That's why their rising, that's how their rising aspirations are being met, and that's why they are not so frustrated about the society or the government. If we look into this in James Davis' perspective. In Charles Tilly's theory also, first there is organization of the groups and there is mobilization of resources among the groups, then common interest will be met. That means those who are collaborating in the movement, they come together based on their common interest, and then they wait for opportunity and strike against the government. Now here, organization itself is lacking because there are no takers for the moment. Organization itself has weakened. We can see many top killers have been killed by the elite forces and elite anti-Naxal forces in the states of Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha, and Chhattisgarh. That means organization itself has been damaged. That's why there is no proper revolution or there is no proper stronghold of Naxalism in Charles Tilly's theory. Further, under Karl Marx class struggle, we can see we have discussed earlier there are two classes, have class and have not class, and there is economic exploitation of have class upon the have not class. Now have not class is class in itself. It must be turned from class in itself to class for itself, where there is common consciousness, sense of oneness, subjective realization of objective reality. All these are required to overthrow the oppressor or bargain better. Now, this is Karl Marx class struggle. But there is one criticism to Karl Marx class struggle by Derendorf saying members of the have not class over a period of time fight among themselves for opportunity. What Karl Marx says is members of the have not class unite over a period of time, and based on the common consciousness, they develop a sense of oneness and they try to overthrow the oppressor with unity among themselves. But Derendorf says these members of the have not class will fight among themselves for opportunity. This can be experienced or this can be seen in a classical case study, which is also given in the same article. Here we can see, with no fresh recruitments and issues, the Maoists are totally dependent on the tribal base. In the beginning, things were fine, but later, the assertive tribal people who had earned their positions in the middle rank leadership started questioning the hegemony of the leaders from the plain areas. That means all these Maoists are have not class only in this particular example. But among this have not class also, there is no proper solidarity which Karl Marx had believed to be. Then there is a strife among the tribals and non-tribals in the Maoists themselves. They are fighting for hegemony, or they are fighting for higher positions in the organizational structure of Maoism. That's what Dahrendorf has said, and this is a classical example of Dahrendorf's criticism against Karl Marx's class struggle. This we can quote uh, without any hesitation in the exams while writing criticisms to Karl Marx. This will fetch definitely extra half or 1 mark in the exam. Now, all these social perspectives are derived from this particular article. We have derived Talcott Parsons' perspective from this statement. We have derived education and social change from this statement. We have derived Karl Marx class struggle. We have derived revolution theories. We have derived social movements, and we have also talked about criticism to Karl Marx class struggle by Dahrendorf. Now that's all we have for today. If you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe to Statecraft IAS. If any criticisms or comments against the discussion, please comment and let me know in the comment section. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.